The IRS gave ICE your private tax information, your home address, your income, your confidential data. They handed it over to immigration enforcement, and a judge just ruled that was illegal. But here's the thing, they already did it. 47,000 people had their private tax information given to ICE on August 7, 2025, before anyone could stop them. Now, here's how this happened. ICE wanted taxpayer data. Originally, they asked for 7 million people. They narrowed that down to like 1.28 million and claimed that one ICE agent was personally and directly engaged in 1.28 million investigations. One agent. The judge called that not credible. No kidding. But the IRS gave them the data anyway. Well, I mean, not at first. The IRS acting general counsel initially refused, said there were multiple legal deficiencies. That was back in July. 2 days later, he was forced out of his position, and the IRS changed its mind. Wow. Suddenly, sharing taxpayer data, totally fine. Except it wasn't, because there are laws, post-Watergate privacy laws, specifically designed to prevent this exact abuse of power. The IRS for decades has promised confidentiality. Millions of undocumented immigrants pay taxes every year. They file, they pay what they owe because the government promised your information stays private. That's the deal. You pay taxes, we keep your information confidential. Except Trump wants to change that. Now your tax information can be used to deport you. And it's not just undocumented immigrants. This affects everyone because once the IRS starts sharing private data with other agencies, where does it stop? ICE today? Who tomorrow? The judge? The judge, Colleen Kohler Cottley, wrote a 94-page ruling saying that this violated the Internal Revenue Code, the Administrative Procedure Act, that the IRS broke the law. But 47,000 people already had their information handed over. And what happens to them? Did they get deported? Are they in detention? Do they even know their data was shared? Nobody's saying. And here's the worst part. This policy is destroying trust in the tax system. Low-income tax clients saw a significant decline in people seeking help. Because if you're undocumented and you know the IRS might give your ICE your address, why would you file? So now people who want to pay taxes, who have been paying taxes, are too scared, which means less tax revenue, less compliance, more people working under the table. Trump's immigration policies are literally costing the government money. But he doesn't care because this isn't about collecting taxes. It's about fear, making the people afraid to interact with the government, afraid to file taxes, afraid to get a driver's license, afraid to send their kids to school. That's the point. Terror as policy. And when the IRS lawyer said this is illegal, they fired him. And did it anyway. The judge ruled this was unlawful, arbitrary, and capricious, contrary to law. But the damage is already done. 47,000 people and ICE wanted 1.28 million. If that lawsuit hadn't stopped them, how many more? This is what authoritarian governments do. They weaponize every part of the system. Tax information, use it for deportations. Driver's license, use it to track people. School records, use them to find families. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is protected. And when someone says, hey, this is illegal, you fire them. The acting general counsel did his job, said this violates the law, and got forced out 2 days later. That's not government. That's a purge. Get rid of anyone who won't break the rules. Replace them with people who will. And the IRS, one of the few agencies people trusted to keep their information private, just handed it over. Subscribe, share this because this story got buried. Judge blocks IRS data sharing. Sounds boring, sounds technical, but what it actually is the government weaponizing tax information against you. They told millions of people, file your taxes, pay what you owe, we'll keep it confidential, then gave 47,000 addresses to ICE. That's not a policy change. That's a betrayal, and it won't stop with immigration. Once they've proven they can break the law, fire anyone who objects, and do whatever they want, who's next? Political opponents, protesters, journalists? Your private financial information in the hands of whoever Trump decides should have it. That's where this goes. That's the precedent. But 47,000 people found out the hard way.